A question I get asked all the time by newer knitters is, what is stockinette? What does that mean? Or they want to know, how do I make the knitting that looks like all the little V's? And if you look at the sample close-up, you can see how those stitches in the hat fabric look like the little V's. And along the edge we have ribbing. And so the question becomes, how do we create these kinds of patterns? Another commonly asked question is, why do we want to have stockinette stitch? Well, stockinette is a smooth fabric, and so anywhere that you would want to reduce the appearance of bulk or have something lay smooth, that's a great place to put stockinette. So things like sweaters, hats, so on. Let's take a look at how to make our own stockinette fabric. To create stockinette fabric, it's really simple. All we need to do is to purl our purl stitches and knit our knit stitches. So this particular row, when we looked closely at the knitting, we could see purl bumps. And so that's our visual cue that we need to now purl all of those stitches. So we're just going to purl until the end of this row. Okay, now we've turned our work and we're looking at it carefully, and we can see that these are all knit stitches. And so to continue in pattern, which in this case is stockinette pattern, all we have to do is knit all of those stitches. So we are going to knit to the end of this row. And remember, when you knit, the yarn is in the back. So always yarn in back, knit. As we carefully look at the stitches and the fabric on this side of our knitted project, we can see that these are the purl stitches. We recognize purl stitches by the presence of the purl bumps, and so we're just going to purl. We purl our purls, and remember, when you purl, yarn is in front. So yarn in front, purl, yarn in back is knit. So let's just purl to the end of this row. Now that we've done a few rows, we can really start to see that stitch pattern coming to life. The back of the work, this is called reverse stockinette, and all of the purl stitches live on that side. On this side, we have what we call those little V's. Those are the actual knit stitches. And so as you get further along in the sample project, it becomes a lot more obvious what stitch you need to make to continue in pattern. So this is the knit side, and we're just going to knit all of our stitches to the end of this row. And on the back side, or what we call in knitting terminology, the wrong side, we can clearly see it's all purl stitches. So in knitting, you are going to pick what is called the right side of your fabric and the wrong side of your fabric. And just to make it a little more confusing, sometimes you might want the reverse stockinette to be the right side of your fabric. You know, that's the really fun thing about knitting. You have so many opportunities to personalize what you're working on and to create the looks in the fabric that you enjoy best. And here we can see, as I've turned the work, we finished that purl row, we're back to what in this case we're going to call the right side, and see those clear knit stitches. Here we can clearly see all of the purl bumps, which in this case is going to indicate wrong side. So yeah, all your purls are on one side, all of your knits appear on this side. That is what gives you the very distinctive look of stockinette. It's highly recognizable, and I encourage you to, the next time you're in the clothing store, just take a look at the sweaters and you will be amazed that you recognize these stitch patterns on just about all of the garments that are there. And now you know how to do it as well.